Hello and welcome back. I hope everyone enjoyed the holidays. I, for one, went back to New England and immediately caught a cold, so I apologize in advance for my voice. Well, the world is finally taking cybersecurity seriously. At least the financial world is. Cloud security startup Lacework raised a staggering D round of $1.3 billion at a valuation of about $8.3 billion. Israeli cloud security startup Wiz just increased its valuation to $6 billion and raised another $250 million. And Orca Security just raised $550 million in a Series C. So why all the big bets? According to ESG's Doug Cahill, evolving cybersecurity programs for the cloud requires retooling, which means the entire stack is now in play. Investors are betting these vendors can disrupt established markets and capture significant wallet share. So once again, the cloud changes everything. These three companies out of thousands just raised over $2 billion in investment just within the last month. Will they all justify their outrageous valuations? Of course not. Common sense says that with revenue estimated at well under $100 million combined, a $15 billion total valuation is a risky bet, to say the least. But this goes well beyond typical VC lemming betting. This is because the problem is so legitimate, it's so widespread, and it's so difficult that we essentially have to start all over again. The cloud has changed the way we do business, and securing that business operation has so much risk associated with it that someone is going to emerge from this race as the next Google or Amazon in terms of the ultimate valuation they get. The stakes are that big. It's easy to bet billions when you're chasing trillions. On a lighter note, Ericsson, the bet the farm on 5G Swedish company, can't find enough native value in its own 5G infrastructure, so it has begun buying things to help developers take advantage of it. The latest and greatest acquisition is of Vonage. The absolute train wreck of a company since birth, based in New Jersey. The Vonage Wikipedia page reads like a bad horror script of one ridiculous event after another, starting with the fact that then CEO Jeffrey Citron had to resign prior to their IPO because he was permanently barred from associating with any securities brokers or dealers by the SEC due to a previous fraud case. They also were found guilty of patent infringement, have paid well over $100 million in damages to the likes of Verizon and other cell phone companies. Read the Wikipedia pages. There's not enough time to cover all of the silliness involved here. If a monster like Ericsson needs a crap company like Vonage to get developers to find a way to leverage their 5G technologies, that just doesn't bode well. And the next person who comes to me and tells me how I need to talk about 6G can just forget about it. I haven't seen diddly for value out of 5G yet, and until the world does, it's really been nothing other than some clever cell phone company commercials or ads. Did you know that T-Mobile has the supposedly best 5G network? Who cares? Has it affected you? Has it affected me? Has it affected anyone? I'm sure there's somebody taking advantage of it, but I don't know who it is. Quest Software was sold yet again, this time to PE firm Clearlake Capital for $5.4 billion. The company used to be Dell's software business, which it sold to Francisco Partners for $2.4 billion in 2016. Not a bad return at all. PE firms find big software companies attractive because they spit out a ton of cash. Unfortunately, what normally happens is they keep all the cash for themselves, and they don't like to invest it back into the business, which means inevitably they bleed it dry and the companies either just go away or the customers go away because the company just hasn't kept up with R&D and enough innovation to make it worthwhile any longer. ESG just released its 2022 IT spending intention survey, and there are some killer findings. First, the enterprise technology spending rebound is poised to continue as organizations look to foster or accelerate their digital transformation. Now, why is that? Because if you aren't already digitized, you're losing money. period. Companies are pushing transformation to all corners of the business now, because unless it's pure manual labor, and even then there are ways to digitize, it has to become digital in order for businesses to move faster, smarter, and more effectively. And this bodes well for not only traditional hardware and software companies, but it certainly bodes well for the massive market uplift that's going to take place for AI and machine learning vendors, along with the analytics companies who have to decipher all this data in real time. And as weird as it sounds, COVID has been the greatest accelerant of digital transformation in the entire digital age. Second, organizations aim to address the expanding attack surface with fortified and holistic cybersecurity strategies. Well, that's good. With piles of money being thrown at thousands of companies, the race to find a cybersecurity panacea is hot and heavy. And while I personally believe there will be no one winner, the simple fact that companies are finally paying attention to the very real threats out there is good for all of us. Like you, I'm tired of lazy company excuses after being attacked by an 8th grader simply because they couldn't be bothered to spend a little bit of money to try and give themselves a fighting chance to have basic security. Third, the gravity of ransomware attacks makes blocking them a top business priority. And that is the key to life, my friends. Because until the business actually cares, all the tech in the world doesn't matter. There's a reason IT is in the basement while the business execs sit up in the penthouse. And I'm not saying that's right, but it is what it is. Until you get the business to care about something, it will always be underfunded. The good news is now they care, which means hopefully we'll be moving faster and finding ways to keep the crooks out and us out of harm's way. Fourth, public cloud hits a temporary stasis as organizations look to make on-premise environments more cloud-like because it's better, as simple as that. We need to take all of the management paradigms that we've become used to in our multi-cloud infrastructure and SaaS models and make them pervasive and have them work the same way on our on-premise worlds. Retrofitting the new management order to the old node-based world we came from means raising the level of abstraction and automation to all new heights. But it's necessary as long as we are going to keep on having kit and applications on premises. And finally, in the most egregious economic news of the week, the New York Mets have agreed to pay Major League pitcher Max Scherzer $130 million for playing baseball for 3 years. That's $43 million per year for those of you counting. Now, over his 13-year stellar career, Max has averaged 31 games per year, and that's $1.39 million per game. He averages 6.29 innings a game, or $221,000 an inning, and he averages 102 pitches per outing, or $13,607 per pitch. It's not bad, Max, not bad. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.